Okay. Hello. All right. So, the last time we found out that the last two times, we found out that we have missed Lamed Bet. We skipped Lamed. Okay. We learned hilchos halacha. Hey. We've gone back to learn Sif Lamed Beis, and then sorry, and Sif Lamed Gimel we learned before. So basically, what it was saying is that the union of being born in Avodas Hashem, the very beginning is an aspect of birth, and the principle that holds back birth, which causes labor pains, labor difficulties, is stemming from Bechinas Amalek, which in itself, it's the root of Amalek, whose root is in Chalapana. In that gap of understanding, of awareness, that enables the world to exist as an entity that has choice. Because otherwise, everything would have been one. It doesn't matter how far and how many Gilgulim and how many manifestation and Ishtalshalos would have been from Hashem. Ishtalshalos means when something is it's not a chain reaction. It's a chain process. It's a process of one thing emanating from another.
It's an infinite process.
Not necessarily, but it's where every action is really an installation of a principle. Okay, if somebody goes and runs after and hits somebody else because the other one made him upset, so the action is a ishtalshalus of the principle of nakama, of revenge. So the consequence of, but you're talking about in Ruchnius, in Kabbalah and Hasidus, you're talking about a situation, a process of a reason, a cause, and a consequence that, and a result that keeps on going, as like from the top to the bottom, goes down, manifests itself from the very ethereal and spiritual to the physical world. It keeps on getting thicker, coarser, more concealed, more congealed from the top of the Olamas to the Olam Asiyah, the here and now, the material here and now.
So who's at the top of the Olamas we're talking about?
Talking about Olam Asiyah, you're talking about from
the Chalapana.
Development.
Within the Chalapana, inside the Chalapana, the whole thing is taking place. The Chalapana is Kiviyachol, the space there is between the creation which is inside and the Ein Sof which is around it. Because if there wouldn't have been a Chalapana, there would be no possibility for choice. In fact, there wouldn't have been a possibility for the world B'chlal to exist.
We understand it that, we don't really understand it spatially, right? It's all here and now, right? All the
We're talking about the principal spiritual level. We're talking about physically those principles work as well, because on the physical level they are ishtalshalos of the spiritual reality. You can call it manifestation, you can call it, but it's more of a process as which I don't have actually the proper English terminology for.
If you don't don't. Nobody does.
No. There is. I'm sure that there is. I'm not sure what's the proper.
An
Chain of
actualization.
events.
maybe?
The chain of events.
Actualization.
What is this? Ishtasharut?
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's over here. Development, evolution, concatenation. Translate. Evolution, I think.
Concatenation. I don't know what's concatenation.
Which
There
one?
is. I don't know what this is. The last one.
Development is the one, right?
No.
Evolution, too.
No.
Something evolves
No.
from something.
No. When you're saying that something evolves, it means that something changes. When there's a change from one situation to the next, but it means it's not the same. Ishtashus means it's the same principle. That it's a lower manifestation
Actually,
that comes from
so it was
high.
constriction. It's constriction.
Constriction
So it's
is
not
what-
the same. So
constriction
it
is
evolved.
how- no,
Evolves
no,
from
no,
the
no,
ape,
no.
but it's still a man. It's a man. It was ape, Ishbal.
It's cyclical duplication.
Nice try though.
Yeah, it looks like that to me.
You want a washing machine.
It's
I want a
cyclical-
toaster.
It's like cyclical duplication. It's a duplication, but it's on a cut. It's
It's
new.
actually a process of concretization and becoming more concrete. But it is a process. It's not a happenstance process. It's not a mindless process. You know, the one thing is just the result of the other, but rather it's a talich mechuvan. It's a process that the Kadosh Baruch Hu uses in order to bring things from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. So, Ishtashu basically means like stepping down, a step down mechanism, a climbing down mechanism, if you will. So, we're saying that now our hope to get out of Pchinas Amalek, which is Chal Apane, which prevents us from being born again, so to speak, into Avodat Hashem, our only hope is that tzaddikim through the Tefilin the Rebbe Tam that we put, because the Chal Apane itself is the epitome of constriction, of tzimtzum. The tzaddikim are the only ones that actually serve a Kodesh Baruch Hu and receive a Kodesh Baruch Hu al pidin. They deserve it. Everybody else gets matos chinam. Everybody else, has to apply for welfare by Kodesh Baruch Hu. The tzaddikim, they get it al pidin. They behave in a way that warrants, their existence. So that's a principle that Milchatchila Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted the entire world to be like that, which means that he wanted to create the world of Midas Adin, but he saw that the world will not exist, cannot possibly sustain itself, if ever it will be judged solely on the merit of their actions. So Kadosh Baruch Hu involved the Midas Arachamim into Midas Adin.
Does that mean, I heard this idea once, right? Does that mean there's like 974 generations that were created in Din and they died right before Adam? Does that mean our purpose is
I don't know anything
to
about that.
survive?
You got me in trouble. Now everybody knows I don't know. It's like, how can you do this to me? It's
No,
unbelievable.
you have there's 974 generations that were created, and they
Before
died
Avraham, not before Adam.
Before Adam, before they died. So there's 26 generations until the giving of the Torah, which is 1,000. I heard Rav talk about it once. Pulls it down from the Zohar.
Should ask that Rav then. I have a clue what you're talking about. I'm sure you're right. It doesn't. I know anything about it. Doesn't know. It's not proof for
he
anything.
basically Chazal said that as soon as they had an awareness of self, they died. Right? So he was asking the question, did
I
Hashem...
Bechlal, you lost me.
That's a good one.
You totally lost me. It sounds like something very fascinating, but you know,
Ask you about my question.
he's going to hit me. He was there when I got an earful from him.
Yeah, you was went off the road.
All right. Now you see what I have to live with. You thought I was having fun, right?
No, because so the idea is that before Adam, all of those generations were created in a world of only din. Adam was the first generation.
But let's, instead of getting into hypotheses and things that we don't understand, it's very simple. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to create the world of Pividas Adin because the whole purpose of creating the world is that people should earn their keep. Okay? Because only this way there's no bullshit. But he saw that it is impossible. People won't be able to live up to this. So he grafted into it the Midas HaRachamim. He put this Meshatef Midas HaRachamim to Midas Adin. But the tzaddikim, they earn their keep al pidin, because they're tzaddikim. You know, the Kadosh Baruch Hu said that only just few tzaddikim are able to do this. The entire world is going to... So, the Tefilin de Rashi represents the world in which the Rachamim are there. According to the Seder HaParshas, Arizal explains in Tefilin de Rashi, the Chasodim come before the Gvuras, before the Din. Tefilin Rabbeinu Tam, the last two Parshas are switched, and the Gvuras come before the Rachamim. In other words, Tefilin Rabbeinu Rashi, the Rabbeinu Tam, is the Tefillin the way they were supposed to be before Kodesh Baruch Hu put together Midas Rachamim with Midas Adin. This is like the purest. That's for the purists. It represents the tzaddikim that earn their keep through merit. So when we put on Tefilin Rabbeinu Tam, we connect to the koach of the tzaddikim, you know, to the tzaddikim that you know that win their keep al pi midas adin. And not only this, but they rectify the din itself.
What makes Rebbeinu Tam din?
The Seder HaParshas.
What does that mean?
I don't know the details. It's the last. I think that's
It's the
switched.
parshas that are switched.
Yeah, no, we know. There are four
Yeah,
parshas.
one
The
of them's
last two.
Gvura and one of them's Chesed, so he puts the Gvura before that Chesed.
Yeah,
It starts with the Gvura.
So this is why it's so important. The process is that you have to get born every single day. You have to break this crust of din every single day to come to start serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What you did yesterday is finished. This is what you need to do today. And the way to break the crust of din through, to break through the crust of din,
You did 5 minutes ago is finished, Gam, right? What you do 5 minutes ago, Gam is finished. It started.
Beseder, but we're talking about yom liyom mishalach ma'asech. It's basically it's a chinami, you know. But mimele, you know, there is a package which is called a day. The shuv yom echad lifnei motcha doesn't say shuv rega echad lifnei motcha.
So I just need that dibur right now, that's all.
Okay. So we're talking about. So this is all the trials and tribulations that a person needs to go through in order to get his nefesh, you know, free and born. And he says, and how many screams and shouts and bends and just gesticulations and whatever until you finally can give birth to the kedusha of your nefesh. You know, this one just screams at you, and this one is this, and all kinds of kvetches, all kinds of the Rebbe says gnichos v'kfilas v'atayas, you know, bending down and folding over, you know, bending over, that you have to do until, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just trying to. I know we've spoken about this, but I can't quite my mind. When we put onto Rabeinu Tam first,
Yeah. Not first.
second, sorry. So we do the chesed first, then we do the din. And what are we? What?
No.
So there's no bracha on Rebbeinu Tam.
You got.
Oh, we don't
mixed
bring
up.
the din to ourselves after the chesed.
No.
I was trying to understand.
You put Tefilin Rashi, that's the tefillin that everybody puts, and you put it on. Okay? When you put on Tefilin Rabeinu Tam, the Tefilin Rabeinu Tam is an interface that connects you to the schools of the tzaddikim.
Compliment?
That I said interface. Please. I mean, come on. I just said. Am I speaking Spanish? Oh, you know Spanish.
Spanish interface means.
So they are an interface to the schus of the tzaddikim that serves the Kodesh Baruch Hu al pidin, that deserve to receive Kodesh Baruch Hu al pidin.
They mantik the din.
Beseder, so because these tzaddikim, what they do, they go into the very root of the din, which is Halapana, and they sweeten it over there.
Exactly
What's the difference between this connection to the tzaddikim's merit and just before I daven, I say I'm connecting to Rabeinu?
Because this is specific. What's the difference between a toaster and a microwave and a computer?
That's not fair.
Just like you're connecting the electricity.
He's an electrician, right?
No, it doesn't matter.
Connecting
You're connecting to a specific aspect.
They can
Like-
sweeten
like
your
I'm
you-
asking you.
They sweeten your
What's the
din.
difference? You're using electricity all over.
Fine.
What's the
My
difference?
toaster's for toast. My microwave's for.
They sweeten your din.
I'm
So
asking
when
you
when you start davening all together, you're connecting yourself with klolias all together, in generality. And when you put into Rebbeinu Tam, that particular part of you that has to overcome the trials and tribulations of getting started
Yeah.
connects to that toaster, to connect to that mechanism. Through Rebbeinu Tam, you connect to that. What would happen what would happen when you connect to, when you put in the thesis, you're connecting to a different
I'm
aspect.
getting confused. I'm going to come in with a toaster on my head.
That'd be interesting.
Good job.
I'm sure, I don't know.
I'm not saying anything about yeast.
Okay, that's the yeast of your problems, right?
See, how can אני אפילו של הבן אדם,
All right. So that's the reason why you have he explained in Siman Lamed Gimel that Ubal Tzion Goel, which is the Geula, which is the birth, is right next to the Mizmor Layancha, which is the Mizmor Tehillim that Rabbeinu said is a schooler for a woman who is giving problems, giving birth, in trouble giving birth. This opens it out. It says it has the 70 words, which are parallel to the 70 voices, 70 cries that she has to cry, she has to scream before she's actually giving birth. Obviously, we're not talking about specific 70 individual cries. We're talking about they're all included in what she's crying. The basic meaning of it is that the crying breaks the barrier in 70 different ways. 70 different ways is Shivim Panim LaTorah, is 70 facets of the Torah. There's 70 facets to your nefesh, because the Torah and Yisrael is one thing. Which means basically, in order to break through and give birth to the Kedusha of your nefesh, you have to reach a point that you must scream. You break the barrier. You break the barrier. You come to the point you can't anymore. The only thing you can do is just scream. Which in a certain way it's a very interesting combination of ishtadlus and surrender at the same time. Because surrender without ishtadlus is just, you just give up, Ishtadlus without surrender is you're going and you this and you hold on, whatever it is. A scream is that when it's a last-ditch effort that is combined with total surrender. This is when you make the breakthrough from what you are into what you're going to be. So this is close. The Rebbe says this is why when a person has a constricted consciousness, his intelligence is constricted, he says then he has to scream in Torah and Tefilin, because that breaks the membrane, so to speak, and gives forward the breath, the birth. So we said that that's the reason why you have to actually write the Tefillin. Similar medal, you have to write the Tefillin o behema Torah, because the skin is pchinas medama, and we spoke a little bit about the haskomo. This is the skin is the outside kli, levush of the body, which is parallel to the koach hamedame, which is the outside layer of the seichel. That's the place where your cognition meets your. This is lamedal towards the. This is where your cognition meets the intellectual quality of your seichel. Because the seichel itself you can't be aware of. The awareness takes place in where the koach hamedame is. That's why the reason it can be fooled so much, because in itself it's a malchus, it's empty. It all depends what kind of film you project on that screen. But this is where the medame is. This is where noga. This is os. That's the reason why you have to write, being that the later has to happen through the bechina of the medame. This is where you have to elevate the holy sparks. That's the reason why he says that you have to write the tefil dafka on skin, because the skin is the prince medame, kfibir medame, and in commensurate measure to the cleansing of the medame. That the medame is clean from dimyonot, from fantasies. This is how you actually acquire a true emunah in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. See, because emunah is a tricky thing. On one hand, it enables you to relate to abachinas that are way beyond your tfisa. You have no chance of grasping anything about the Kodesh Baruch Hu with your machshava, with your understanding. But you can very easily believe in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. In fact, believing in the Kodesh Baruch Hu requires no seichel, almost. Even the simplest people believe in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. In fact, they believe in the Kodesh Baruch Hu more easily than the smarties. So emunah, you can, no problem, boom. You reach Kodesh Baruch Hu through emunah. But being that emunah is devoid of seichel, of intellect, you can be swayed very easily. You can be cheated very easily.
Has to be bound with truth, no?
Yes.
So how?
So what you need to do is the emunah has to be totally clean. Now, how do you get to emunah? Through the koach hamedame, through the imagination. You imagine that there's a Hashem and this and that, and you believe in it. So the gateway to emunah is medama. Now, if the medama is mixed with bologna, so your emunah is mixed with bologna.
You got a bologna sandwich.
You have a bologna sandwich. You have a bologna emunah.
With yeast.
With yeast. That's right. So okay, listen, whatever makes you tick. So according to the bio medame, as clean as the medame, the cleaner the medame becomes, this is how you zoch et emunah, shehu ikar shleimus tikut medame. The emunah is the ultimate rectification of the medame. Because once you have emunah, your mind can be mixed with a lot of different things, but once you have emunah, you got it there. There's a story that I think it's written in Begana Emunah of Rav Aruch, in which he talks about two brothers. One of them is Haredi, and the other one is Chiloni. Like in Israel, like Masorti, kind of like and the brother, the Chiloni brother happy as a lark. And his brother is miserable, his Haredi brother is miserable like you don't believe. He's struggling, is this, is that. So the Chiloni brother, what happened to him? He was makabel on himself. He's not sure about the mitzvahs. He was makabel on himself. I mean, Claudius. He was makabel. He accepted upon himself that he's going to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything. Whatever happens, thank you. I feel nice about it. I don't feel good about it. I like it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He's living a life of Gan Eden. And the other guy, the Haredi guy, who keeps Torah mitzvahs, is spitting blood. He's unhappy about this, and unhappy about this, and unhappy about this. And when he spoke to Rebbe Nosson, he says, I don't understand this, My brother is fine, and, he waltzes and parties, every day of his life. I keep Torah mitzvahs, and I'm as miserable as anything. So he said, because your brother got the main thing. He got the emunah.
How did he know you think?
He told him, whatever it is, he explains how he found out. I'm not exactly sure. He spoke to both of them. I'm not exactly sure what the story was. He says, your brother got the principle. He says, once he got the emunah, at the end he'll get to the Torah mitzvahs also. It's himself he'll get to this. If the emunah is there, even right down the medama is he thinks he can thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he has a contact with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and it's okay, and he's fine, v'chula, v'chula, v'chula. Give me a tissue, please. He says, you, with all the Torah mitzvahs that you keep, you lack the main ingredient. You lack the emunah. Now, you want to tell me that the guy doesn't have schar for the mitzvahs? Of course he does. Much more than his brother. But the thing that is lacking, is the pchinas emunah. What I wanted to say is not the predicament of the Haredi brother, but rather the fact that even the other guy who doesn't keep Torah mitzvahs, but thanks HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything, which means that he's holding by emunah, he has a basic tikkun to his medama. There's still work to be done.
It's almost like if you clear your mind, you can clear your life.
Yes. Exactly right. And the thing is that people don't understand what kind of we all feel that there are bottlenecks in our lives that are plugged up. And the way to unplug it, the way to get out of so many crazinesses and so many insanities in life is to accept this in of saying thank you to Kodesh Baruch Hu all the time for everything. Whether you feel it, you don't feel it, you understand it, you don't understand it, you say thank you. I know it's for my good, I don't understand it now, I will understand it or I won't, it's okay also. Thank you because it's Vaday the best. And what it does is takes out the plug from this bottleneck, and suddenly your life starts to flow. Says, you're thanking me? Okay, let me show you what you actually thank me for. That's the way it rolls. You have problems with Kadosh Baruch Hu, why you did this, and why you do this, and why you do this, and why you do this. Okay, so this is Valachtim Bakeri. You'll go with me, and look what happened to me. Why are you getting upset? Look what happened to me, right? If you knew this from Kodesh Baruch Hu and you knew it's for your own good, you wouldn't get upset. What it means is that you're mouthing that you know it's from Kodesh Baruch Hu, and you're mouthing that is the best thing for you. But really, you don't really believe that.
It's funny, I have a friend, a religious guy.
You're whispering a lot.
I had a friend who's a religious guy for like 15 years, been religious.
Yeah?
But he always had struggled with the religion. The rabbis, this and that, and he was had problems and challenges, and he's just giving it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He has a basic faith in Hashem. He still keeps Shabbat, sort of, but everything in his life is suddenly gone. Suddenly he's got a good job, he's got good money, his marriage is happy, and he's just got a very simple faith, very simple. I see it. I was relating to this when you were saying this.
It's easy to complicate things. it's easy to complicate things. The thing is that's one of the things that the Rebbe keeps on harping on. That you have to start all over again. You know, don't get complicated. Don't become clever. Don't become smart. Basically, it is a keep on making it simple again and again and again. Return to basic. The Rebbe says that he swore that he knows absolutely nothing, which means he starts from a clean slate, just total emunah. I don't understand anything. I don't know anything. In other words, retain the freshness. Retain that innocent view. Yeah. Retain, the Rebbe says this is the Ikar Yadus, that's the main principle of Yiddishkeit, is simplicity and innocence. Don't get cheshbonot and this and that. Now I really understand what it is that Reb Simcha was yelling at me when I was telling him, like, I wonder what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from me now. It got me, got the baseball bat to my head. What do you mean what he wants from
When
me?
did you say that to him?
I spoke about it here. I said I spoke about it, and again I understood from him that what I was meant. And then I asked him if this is what he meant, and he said yes. The main thing is you have things in your life that you do a pisech al yashar, that do what people do. Okay? You go to work. You go to work, you do whatever it is that you need to do. There's al pisech what you need to do. You need to cover the bed. You don't hope that suddenly an uncle that you never knew is going to give you a Yerusha. That's not what you do. You go, you make sure that it's covered, that this is what is done. Because that's the normal thing to do. This is how Hashem created the world, that you behave normally. Now, what it is that you want, again, we come in with all these really sophisticated, like, Hashem, give it to me. But if you know it's not good for me, then don't give it to me. And, you know, all this kind of dance that we do when we become sophisticated in Avodas Hashem, forget about it. What do you want? You want to be rich? Ask Hashem to make you rich. It's good for you. It's not good for you. The Rebbe says only, don't be an auction. You know, don't become one-trick minded. You have to have this, because if you do it, then you'll get it, even if it's not good for you. But if you basically you ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for it, you thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for whatever it is that you have, and you ask Hashem for whatever it is that you want, you leave it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He knows what to do. He knows what to do. You all the time you have to keep it simple. You have to behave secheldik. You have to keep it simple. Whenever you start asking, what does the Kodesh Baruch Hu want from me? You know that you have gone into areas that you're getting lost. What do you need to do? What do you think you need to do? B'tachlis, what do you need to do? Do this. What do you want? Ask for it. Finish. Finish. Thank you for what you have. Do what you need to do. Ask for what you want. No. It's very simple.
What if you don't know what to do?
What?
You have no idea what
So you ask. There are many times you can't even do what it is that you need to do. You're incapable of doing it.
Once you get involved in the confusion of the mind, you're gone. You're gone.
Yeah.
It's about simple faith, speaking to Hashem.
And the thing is that it is very, very important that you realize when you don't have the ability to handle a situation, you don't know what to do, so you call somebody who is connected to Avodas Hashem and you ask him. You know, because he's not nagia to your own, vested interests, so to speak. He's not confused with your confusion. He's confused with his, but not with yours. So you just ask him, and this guy, especially somebody that, there were so many things that people would ask questions to the Babich Rebbe. So he used to write this, Yishal be'atzas yedidim mevinim. Ask for the advice of friends that understand these things. Yesterday, I called Reb Simcha with a question, and he told me, that's not for me. I said, what does it mean it's not for you? He says, if you're talking about halacha, It's not for me. I'm not a person. And if it's the story behind it, sure, just leave me alone. It's not my business, not my inyan. It's not, somebody else. Ask the etzes you didn't mevina. The main thing is that if you want to make sure that the eitzah is really good, so before you ask the eitzah, you talk to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Usually it's a chalukas eitzah. In other words, it's either this or that. I don't know if to do this or to do that. Not to do that, I don't know what to do at all. It's usually easier because you ask to somebody and says, listen, this is my quagmire, this is my situation, I don't know what to do. That person says, either he says, listen, from my experience you do this, you do that, or else says, I don't know, but there's somebody else who does. Okay? I mean, your car, something in your car doesn't work, whatever, you don't know what to do. You ask a friend, he's a mechanic, he tells you, this or this or that. If he's not a mechanic, he says, I got a friend who is a good mechanic. In other words, if he's not the answer, he may lead you to the answer. It says that the only thing that you need to do, Rebbe says that you can even get it from a sefer. If you go to make his weddings, so if you want to, but you have an eight, you don't know to do this or to do that, it's not know what to do at all. But if you're not sure to do this or to do that, it says you go, you make his weddings until you come to equanimity in your mind. That either way is okay. That it's okay to do this, okay to do that. And then you open a sefer anywhere and you'll get your answer. Rebbe says that. He says, but you have to make sure that you reach an equanimity because it's very easy to see what you want to see. So, but what I'm saying, it's possible.
That's what this year is for me every single day. Every single day, almost every day.
What?
That's what this year is. Every time we open a book, it seems pertinent to my life in some way.
Right. And you know why this is? Rebbe explains. It's because you are interested in Avodas Hashem. If you are interested in Avodas Hashem, wherever it is that you open up a sefer, you see that it speaks about you. That's your siman that you are interested in Avodas Hashem. That's a proof. I'm sorry.
You're stuck with this.
I can tell you a quick story.
Sure, but say it in a way that they can listen. Otherwise, I have
Come a little closer.
No, I'm not going on. It's
No,
not,
no, come,
it's
just
not
say
even
it.
such a great story, but it's just once the doctor said I have to have my heart looked at. So I had this ultrasound on my heart.
Yeah.
And it was at Terham. And I came back and I met with the doctor and he had this brave look on his face and he said, okay, I don't know how to tell you this. You've got the heart of a 70-year-old man. But the left side of your heart, the walls are thick, and the right chamber, and this, and that, and the other. Right? And there's this problem with the right side, and there's a major problem on the left side of your heart. I was like, oh my God. So then I left, and I went into the shul, and David Noel gave me Chayin, and I opened it up on the Tanya. And this whole thing that I was reading on the Tanya was about the left side of the heart, the right side of the heart, this chamber, and that, and love, and ahava.
Yeah.
You know, so I went back to the doctor, and he said, look, I want you to have another test because I didn't like it, so I had to test again and it was clear. They probably gave me somebody else's results.
That's the best way.
But I got this thing, it was amazing because I went to the doctor, the wording what the doctor said to me was exactly the same as what I learned from the Tanya, and it gave me like a limit. It gave me something amazing.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I went to Terham as well. And I was sitting there where they do the X-rays and the ultrasound. And the lady does the ultrasound came out and says, "Are you waiting for ultrasound?" I said, "No, I'm just fat." Well,
Am I showing?
What did she say? What did she say? She laughed.
Oh, are you kidding? I mean, you can see in his face. I mean, it's a person that very seldom smiles. You know, this kind of sour, whatever it is, and suddenly just like, she bursts out laughing, and you can see that she's not used to laughing. It was such a relief suddenly for her, to be able to laugh. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we will stop right here, and to be continued, Mr. Shem, on Sunday. And we didn't get all the way to there.
We did this.